Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Jeff Passing Through. Today, or shall I say this afternoon, we are on our way to a battle reenactment. The Battle of Stoney Creek from the War of 1812 took place just over in Hamilton, actually, a place called Stoney Creek, at a place called Battlefield Park. We're going over there right now because there's festivities going on all day today, including a battle reenactment this evening. And I think there's going to be a drone show and some fireworks. So come along with us. Now today, we're taking the bus. But we just saw this sign that says that this stop is actually going to be out of service from 6 until 9:30. Now it's not quite 6. It's actually just 10 past 5. And I think I see our bus coming right now. Now luckily, we're coming back after 9:30. So that stop shouldn't bother us. All right, now we need to transfer to the 5, which also stops here. Aha! I think I see our bus.
Next stop, King Opposite Fairport.
There we go.
Stop requested.
Last time I came to this reenactment, I was 14 years old. So this is going to be like a brand new experience all over again. Oh, this monument is so beautiful. On my drone channel, I have a video where I flew around this. But there will be no drones flying around today. They've made this a no drone zone because there's a drone show later on today. And while some people will choose to take the stairs, we are choosing to take the easier route. All right, only a few stairs at the end. This monument was erected in 1913, exactly 100 years after the Battle of June 6, 1813. Incidentally, today is June 6, 2026, 113 years later, 213 years after the battle. Now it looks like we can go inside today. And this is the first time I have ever done this. Well, that was cool. And what a nice view. This is on the left side. But the other side and the back, well, they're just empty. By entering this event, you consent to be photographed and or recorded. You see, I called ahead and I pulled some strings with the city of Hamilton. I'm kidding. Well, this is neat. Here's a schedule of events over the weekend and a map where everything is. The Battle of Stoney Creek. And this field here is the militia camp. And just over here on the side is the British Allies camp. And over here on this side, oh, this is the American camp. This is where the invaders are sleeping. And over here, this is the British camp. These are our guys. The Nash Jackson House. Wow, cool. And there's a bit of a merchant fair. Now we're going to have a snack of these interesting treats called panzerolis. They're like little mini pizza pockets. Ooey gooey delicious. It sounds like the festivities are starting over at the Reenactment field. People are already starting to get their spots early.
Ladies and gentlemen, the group lead is now marching onto the field as the Corps of Drums, Crown Forces 1812. They do not represent any specific British regiment during the war. Rather, they honor all the fifers and drummers who participated in that war. Over the next several minutes, I hope to provide you with an insight into some of the music that would have been played during that period of time.
Just getting set up for the battle reenactment. It's going to happen in a few minutes. People are still filling the area. Oh, looks like something's starting here. Is this the coin toss?
The American pickets failed to detect the British approaching, thanks to them falling asleep in the church, and they're able to quickly deploy against the American forces. Now, the fighting you're seeing here initially is an example of light infantry or skirmishing during the time period. Soldiers were trained to kneel or even lie down to load and fire. And we get a lot of people asking, that seems pretty smart. Why didn't everybody kneel or lie down? The simple fact of the matter is a soldier won a battle by getting more lead across the field than his enemy. The fastest way to load a muzzle-loading musket is to stand up. A well-trained soldier can get anywhere from 3 to 6 shots off a minute. Oh, don't worry, you get used to those after a while. I'm half deaf in this here. Or is it this here? You'll figure it out. But, standing up, 3 to 6 rounds. Kneeling or lying down, because of the awkwardness, it's going to take significantly longer to load and fire that way. You want to win, you got to stand up. But your skirmishers aren't going to win battles. They are going to poke at the enemy. They're going to prod at them. They're going to find their weak spots. They're there to harass, harangue, and scout. And they're very good at it. Now, during the battle, artillery was of a major concern. Cannons are very deadly on a normal day, firing solid iron cannonballs at a low angle, so they skip when they go across the battlefield. Light guns like the ones you're hearing firing would have been able to, they actually did testing, they would have been able to, at a range of 400 yards, cleave through up to 17 human beings. The larger guns could have gone over 30. If any of you are bloody-minded, afterwards, I'll be right here. You can come on up, and I will tell you all the gory, gruesome details. But the big concern during the Battle of Stoney Creek was not the solid iron balls, which, although deadly to the tightly packed ranks, it paled in comparison to what you would use at close range. Canister. Canister shot was basically turning your cannon into a shotgun. You would load either bags or cans that were filled with small iron projectiles, and when you fired, it would basically break apart and send a swarm across the field. Now, a soldier from this time period said when it was coming at you, it sounded like locusts descending upon the pharaohs of Egypt. When it struck, it sounded like fabric being torn, and what it left the men looking like was similar to butchered horse flesh. So, at close ranges, canister was murderous. You had to be very careful. Rifles, which have the rifling grooves, giving the ball a spin, so it goes straight to the target. These being smooth, good luck. 50 or 60 yards, a good soldier can hit a man-sized target. But past that, good luck. At a range of 200 yards, you can miss your target by up to 18 feet in any direction. So how on earth do you make the weapon effective? You're seeing it. Volleys, the mass firepower is going to counteract those problems. Your men are going to load and fire as fast as they can as a group. So even if there's misfires, enough muskets will go off. Aiming is no longer necessary. So a lot of you probably wonder why the bright red? That's why. Why do sports teams wear bright uniforms as well? It's identification. You want to be able on the battlefield to scream out to one side, "Don't shoot, I'm with you." So the British traditionally are in red, the Americans are traditionally in blue. But you see green-coated soldiers on the British side, you see gray-coated soldiers on the American side. You want to know what happens to them? Everybody shoots at them. At Lundy's Lane, a green-coated Canadian regiment, the Glengarry Light Infantry, lost more to the British than to the Americans. They could not be identified. You shoot first and ask questions later. And slashing away. It was only a few seconds after they started attacking before they realized they had charged an American unit in the confusion. Now the confusion on the field rankled both sides, as the Americans thought they were being attacked by a significantly larger force, and the British were unable to kind of find that weak spot in the American lines, heavily outnumbered as they were. The British began to take heavy losses, and it looked as though the battle was going to push the British out, heavy losses with no real gain. A gamble had to be made if they were going to carry the evening. Now, what wasn't helping the American forces with their confusion is their generals, again, their inexperience was showing, were riding around trying to figure out what was going on, and were issuing countermand orders back and forth, counteracting each one another. You'd think they would have worked better. When the battle broke out, they were playing a lovely game of whist, a card game, and seemed to be good at knowing what the other was up to. But out on the battlefield, no luck for them.
Wow, my ears are ringing.
I mentioned how deadly the canister shot was, and if they charged those guns, one shot, they'd all be wiped out. Artillery officer Nathaniel Townsend commanding them. But luckily, those confused orders had ordered him to hold off, that he had potentially been firing upon his own troops. So his men were not prepared when out of the darkness came the soldiers of the 49th, bayonets fixed, leveled at the enemy. They charged into the guns. General Winder right into the hands of the British, having suffered heavy losses, quickly withdrew with their captives, which include not only General Winders but General Chandler, leaving the Americans to try to figure out what had just happened to them. At this point, the British weren't sure if they had won a victory. Their losses were so heavy, the enemy so numerous, they weren't sure if in the dawn the enemy would push on them or not. The night ended in just as confusing as it began.
Wow, that was amazing. Especially getting to run around and watch all the different angles. Even standing right next to those cannons they were firing off. My ear's still ringing a little bit. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for all of the reenactors who come out this weekend. They have come from near and far. We had one show up today. Came running in last minute for the afternoon battle. Came all the way from Toledo. So we thank all of our friends near and far. Now, hopefully, this will blow over quickly and we can still put on our drone show and our fireworks. I can't guarantee that. We try not to take too many risks here, especially when we have neighbors over there who can be a little loud if we hit them with a firework. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daryl Learn. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you this evening. You have yourself a great day here at Battle of Stoney Creek.
Wow, just as they pulled everything off the field, the skies just dumped on everyone.
We're all hiding under a tree over here.
And just as fast as it started, it is now broken. Welcome to Canada. Wow, what a sky. Now there's supposed to be a drone show and a fireworks show happening about 9:30, which is in about 20 minutes from now. They said if the storm blows over, maybe we can still do it. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Okay, so we just got good news and bad news. The good news is that the fireworks can still go on, and that's going to happen in about 25 minutes to half an hour. The bad news is that the drone show can't go on. I don't understand. It's sprinkled for about 5 minutes, and everyone's out here enjoying the grass and running around and playing. And it's not wet, but they can still fire off the fireworks, but they can't run the drones for some reason. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the buses, because there's a lot of people still coming in for fireworks, and that means after the bang bangs go off for 15 minutes, there's going to be a mad rush to get on public transit. Best to beat the crowd than be caught in it. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe you're a battle reenactment fan, and let me know what you've seen. I know that there are fans of Civil War reenactments in the United States, as well as some other War of 1812 reenactments along the Canada and US border. Until the next video, I'm Jeff passing through Stoney Creek today. Well, at least we got a little bit of the fireworks there as we're waiting for the bus. Anyways, vlog is over.